Okay, I'm gonna talk to you today about some drawing tips and some standard stuff that you can use. And this is one of my first drawings. And what I did is I actually grid this, and I grid my paper. And I started out with like the flowers and the more detailed parts. It was very easier to get like the shadows and everything in there. And then also one of the other techniques that I used is in here with the pencil. I made sure it was rounded and everything to create the illusion that the stem is rounded. I also, you wanted to do the grid extremely light, because sometimes that's a mistake that we do, and then you can see it's very hard to get rid of. And then you can also, after you erase it, you can see more like the shadows and stuff where you want to go in and make it look a little better. Whatever doesn't look right, you can add to it. And also, one of the big things is like if you do pictures on the wall or anything like that, like I did in here, you want to create the illusion of it and make it look right. So if you create a point out here and you tape it together so it does not move, and you use like a yardstick, and no matter where you move it, you always line it up with that yardstick from that same point, and it will create the illusion of the wall. As you can see in here, it looks like the wall is going back that way. Also, with the light spots, like on this vase right here and up on the chair, you can't be afraid to get it too white. You take your eraser right to that and completely erase all of that. Because if you look at a picture, that is exactly how it looks. It's very, very white. Also, another thing that helps you out a lot is as you go further away, you want to get darker. And for your darker spots, you probably want to use a 4B or a 5B. But like when you get closer up towards the front, like I did with this hallway, you can tell that it's getting further away as it gets darker. You know, you can get lighter and go with your 2B or just a regular pencil for that, or your HB. Also, another big tip that helped me a lot, especially with these flowers like in here and stuff, is I use the blending stump, and you can blend it together and create a really nice effect on that. And also, as you can see right here, my chair, it looks rounded because it's darker on the outsides. That helps a lot, along with the white spot on the top. And I'm also going to show you guys how to create the rounding effect of like a cup. And okay, so as you draw your cup, you just draw like the standard oval on top, but now this same oval, you want to make sure you do the same shape right on the bottom. It's kind of hard to get that same shape. As you can see, this one on the bottom isn't the quite same arch, and you want to have that same arch. People make that mistake a lot. And then you just bring it down the sides. And now, to create the rounding effect, as I did on my stems here, you also want to say, I'm going to say my light is coming from over here. So I'm obviously going to make it darker on this side. Both of the sides are going to appear darker, but this side is going to appear a little bit darker with the light coming from this side. And you want to start out with putting your curved lines on the sides, like this, on the sides. And then you do a few on this side, and it will start to come together. You obviously want to do it darker on the sides, like I said, but you also want to have these lines following through all the way. But like I said, also, just make sure you make the side ones a lot darker. And make sure that these are very rounded, but you want to get the same shape as your curved line up here. And then you want to blend that, especially, you don't want to blend it too much together though. You want to keep the difference between the darkness on the outsides. Make sure there's a big difference between that and the insides. Then you can just go in a little bit. Do that, and then if you want to just make the inside appear darker, because the inside of the cup is obviously going to be darker than your outside. And now this couldn't even be a cup. You could use this as a can or anything like that that is opened. But as you can see here now, the illusion that it is rounded is coming a lot more together. But I'm going to make this side just a little darker because I have the light coming from over in this area. And then just go in with your blending stump and blend that together. And as you can tell, the illusion of the cup comes together a lot nicer.